Here are two Enneagram 4s in the space of being Jesus-led and joy-fueled. This is Bethany's Church 101, week 6, which is the intro to leader team. And we're going to debrief that call from November 5th of 2021. So we'll begin with the check-in and then get to be about Father's business. I can go ahead and start.
Thank you.
And I will check in with you. I am checking in. Glad to be with you. Really, I love our times together. They're often they're calm, but they're also electric at times with God doing things, and I really like to see how He leads us on this call. Secondly, I'm feeling like it's raining outside a lot, and so I just feel the cleansing, cascading, purifying effect of the rain just hitting the ground, and it really makes me happy. Also checking in, providentially quizzical with some curiosity. I have a realtor coming over later to have a conversation with us about this house. And I don't know if I shared it with on any of our teams, so you can stop me, but I had contacted her, I think on this week sometime. I sent a message. So 9 years ago, we've been in this house 9 years, right? I sent him, I get my phone, no contact. I'm like, it's been 9 years. So I find the person, her name is Patty. Patty, is this even your number? Right? I don't even know if she's even around.
Yeah.
Send a text message. She responds immediately with a text and says,
Wow.
the first letters were OMG. Because I was just, hey, is this you? We're looking at having a conversation about relocating. She says, OMG, Jason, you may not believe me right now, but I am on Adrian, it's my late wife. I am on her Facebook memorial page right now. And I don't know how I got there, but I'm on it right now because there was like a memory or something like that. And then all of a sudden you're contacting me. I said, what are the
of that? My goodness.
And she said, yeah, then your message came through. I thought it was my fingers hitting. No, it was. So all that to say, what is the Lord doing? And so I'm paying attention to these astonishing little big things of His imprint, fingerprints everywhere. So my eyes are wide open for what He's doing. So checking in with lots of astonishment, curiosity, and expectation for God to move, because He's just blowing my mind. So that is me. I'm all in.
Wow. So this realtor's a friend too, it sounds like?
No.
Okay.
In short, in our process 9 years ago, she became endeared to our family and our situation, which was dire at that time, and took had a heart for us, and we connected, on Facebook. But other than that, it's just a person on the, there's been we don't talk. And so, so the Lord's bringing her back in our life for today, and she's bringing her daughter. So don't know who that is. So maybe they'll end up on Church 101. You never know.
Yeah, there you go. Wow. Oh, thank you for that. And I'll be praying for that whole conversation and what God does with that. So that's exciting. I'm just excited for everything going on over there. So. Trying to get an extra second here to get out of my head. So
take your time.
Trying hard. So today I'm checking in as kind of marveling a little bit too, because I've had some rough days last couple weeks. But especially like a couple days ago, I had a random just day where I was just literally sitting in the car and going, God, I don't understand what you're doing right now. And I'm just feeling, and we all had those moments where you're just feeling completely alone and right at that moment, I just happened to get on my phone because I was looking for a specific email, and instead I ran into something else. And at that moment, somebody did a pay it forward donation. And I was like, my jaw just dropped, and I was like, okay. And it's like God was like just enveloped me like all in that moment. I was like, okay, all right, I'm in this, I'm still in this, I'm still trusting, but I'm also, honestly, I'm still checking in. It's just it's so weird just to be at this place, just feeling completely energized at all this looped in and facilitating and just everything that God's doing there. But also I'm watching my physical abilities dwindle a little bit, and still no answers with that. I ended up losing consciousness at worship practice last night and scared some people there. And so I've been trying to take it easy here. But it's just been kind of feel like I know God is big enough that I can be angry at, but yet it's a weird place to be angry, but yet completely loving, yet completely trusting, and just all this stuff. And I know he loves me regardless. I know that. But it's just hard, especially when I have to look at my kids and try to figure out what's best for them right now too. And a lot of hard choices going on. And so I feel like I'm trying to keep myself together. But I just feel, what do I feel? I know I'm saying feel like, and I'm trying to find a feeling word with all of that. I don't know if it's quite overwhelmed because I'm excited about some of the stuff going on too. So I don't know if there's a feeling word that maybe stretched. I don't know if that's really correct either, but just trying to just come and just accept for the moment that I'm in rather than planning even a day in advance at this point. I'm just trying to take what I have. And so, yeah, but I am all in, and I've been looking forward to this time together. And I don't know, I like it too. And so I'm all in, very much all in.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Still delighted to be with you. We do have an Emmanuel call set up.
Yes.
To be set up for in maybe a week from today. We can confirm that. So for this case and for this call, I am hearing that there is space for you to maybe express some anger, maybe to the Lord because He can handle it. I'm hearing overwhelm, hearing stretch, those sorts of things. Am I right about hearing that?
Yeah, but there's also excitement and joy and
excitement, joy.
stuff in there too. You have to put, they're both very much present at the same time.
Okay.
So,
Gratitude.
gratitude, there you go.
Maybe even astonishment, relief. Maybe he came in the nick of time. You're on the email, and you get that other pay it forward. So yes, the kaleidoscope is there, and we see all of the different colors. But because some of those are heavy, but they can exist at the same time, and you are astutely observing that. But for this space, to get through the rest of Father's business, how would you like for us to proceed with the call? What would you want most on this call? Would you like for an opportunity to pray for you? Would you like to listen to Jesus? Would you like a story of a situation where that may have happened in my world? Or just wait for the Emmanuel call, or you just had to get it off your chest and you want to continue. How would you like for me to be with you for the rest of the call?
um, yeah, man, it's so much easier being in your seat. It's easier for me being in your seat. Okay, sorry. Everything in me is going, press on, don't, but then there's this little part of me, it's like, either I feel like you have something that you're kind of wondering, like that's swirling around in you that you want to share, or I'm sitting there like, well, maybe we should just like spend some time asking God together. But then I'm like, my head's going, I know, let's just go move forward, because that's what you can do in the Emmanuel session. So I'm bouncing it back to you to decide.
Sure.
I know we're also kind of pressing on time too. I don't know how much time.
I know how to play pickleball and tennis. So yeah, honestly, there's no pressure to do any of them, to enter into all of them. There's no, I think you had appreciated, I think when the last calls or recently, that we didn't have to go into all of the things and fix, and so I truly am happy to go through the rhythms, and I'm happy to do whatever else pops up. So I'm going to give you another maybe 30 seconds just to take a deep breath and see what percolates from your heart, if any of them come up. And because it's about you really connecting to your desire, what you would most want and need right now. So just if you're comfortable, just checking in again for 30 seconds. And if not, we can just go through the rounds if you want to. So does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's okay, could we listen to God together? I just feel like I just need some peace.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I would love that. Let me get my clock ready. Has 3 minutes now.
wow. Oh, that's good.
Okay, 3 minutes. And is there anything specific or more pointed that you want me to be listening for, or just in general?
I just got this picture of us trying to go, me, not us, me trying to go to the next round, and he's like, you're not ready. It just felt like I just needed some peace.
Okay.
I don't know what that is really.
Yeah. Well, that's really clear.
Okay.
Let's listen around what it looks like for the Prince of Peace to pass some peace your way at this moment. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay, let's begin. I'll call you back in 3.
Okay.
Okay, I am back. Would you want to go first? You want me to roll?
Yeah, I mean the man, laughter is such a defense for me. Okay. I think I don't know if you know, but I'm pretty sure you do though. The story of the bummer lamb, what I'm talking about.
I am affectionately remembering that story. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And so anyway, I've always resonated with that at a deep level as well. And I think he hit on something is that very much I feel value more in doing things myself
Mm.
rather than being, not that I'm any less. I hear it coming out. I don't know if it's quite going deep as it needs to, but not that I need to do something in order to be accepted or get the, anyway, he just showed me that the bummer lamb, right, regardless if that's me or not, is he's just holding this bummer lamb to his chest. And yeah, that's the picture I got. So I'm trying to rest in that picture. I'm finding a harder time because I'm like, go bummer lamb, you can do it. Anyway, I'm there. It was a good picture though. I needed to see it. So that's where I landed.
And sometimes those pictures have to simmer, simmer and marinate for a bit. But how does the receiving of that picture, how does it make you feel?
How does it make, okay, sorry. I immediately went to my head with that. Hold on.
Where does that land in your body?
I don't want to be the bummer lamb. I don't know what feeling that is. Anyway.
Would it be okay if we proceeded just one more question further, or are you okay? Could you ask Jesus, who's giving you this picture, what he wants you to know about that part of you that doesn't want to be the bummer lamb? What does he want you to know about that part of you that's saying, I don't want to be that? And just see if anything comes.
Yeah, I just not completely sure that the way he's saying it. They're saying it. He's just don't discount the value of the bummer lamb.
Okay. Just writing that down. Okay. Could I ask one more question? When the bummer lamb is brought to the chest, I think that was the picture, right?
Yeah.
How does that embrace make you feel?
It's I feel both like part of me wants it and part of me is scared at the same time. Like I can't completely relax enough to really receive it.
Gotcha.
Mm.
Okay. And this is something, we can even revisit in our manual time.
Yeah.
Would it be okay if I transition even here to
Yes.
what I received? And then if you're open, I could just close that part out in prayer. That's okay.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Right.
This is all good stuff coming up, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I immediately saw a picture of you. This is going to be interesting because my imagination is here. So I think you may be able to track with me here. So I closed my eyes, immediately saw a picture of you strolling in a field of peas, PEAS.
Yes.
Complete VeggieTales, total
I
VeggieTales.
love it.
Okay?
I love it.
So
That's
many,
great.
so many peas, so much peace.
Mm.
And they were there for the nutrients, the vitamins, for you to eat. Unlimited amount of peas, just unlimited. I've never seen anything like it. And you could take them in your pocket for whenever you needed.
Mm.
And then I was listening around just your boys that they came up because you mentioned them.
Yeah.
And I heard the song, He's Got the Whole World in His Hands. Do you know that one?
Yeah, yes, I do.
But I heard, I've got the whole world in my hands. I've got your sons in my hands.
Mm.
And then I saw the earth, and it was a giant pea. It wasn't, it was a giant pea in outer space.
Love it. I love it.
Right? I think that's how it was. And it was about your sons and the orbit of their life. He's got all of them in their hands, and the peas and peace are accessible for them.
Love that.
And so those are some of my thoughts. And I thought maybe before we transition, would it be okay if I just close this out in prayer?
Yeah. Well, I have to add really quick.
Yeah, please.
I know we're like, I don't know where we are in time, but so like this last week or so, all of a sudden my kids have been asking, and I want to say her name because she might pop up, but Alexa to play VeggieTale songs.
No way.
Way. So out of the blue, I was like, I think it's humorous. And I think of that little P as like, was it the Joshua and the wall?
I think so.
And have you seen that episode?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so the P's are the one that's on the wall, and dancing around the wall saying, and it's like, oh my gosh, he's got so much attitude.
Exactly.
So, I just think it's funny. Anyway, I don't know, that doesn't relate to much at all, but I just think the whole thing's just, yeah. Anyway, that had a lot of joy to it for me.
Okay.
Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome. Well, I'll pray and we'll transition.
Yes.
Father, I thank you that you're the God of peace, and that you sent Emmanuel to be the Prince of Peace with us. And Holy Spirit, you are our wraparound provision of perpetual peace. I thank you for your humor and your irony, that you would even drop into this moment with the green rotund peas of VeggieTales and help us detect what you're saying in the desire coming from Bethany's boys to have VeggieTale songs come up this week, and for you to interrupt this meeting with hilarious and comical images of a pea in outer space and Bethany strolling in a field of peas that she can partake of at any time. You see her parts. There are no bad parts. You love each and every one of them. And I pray that you would apply your oil and your wine as the wounded healer knows how to do to all of these places. And I pray that Bethany would wrap the bandages of compassion around each and every one of them as we continue to eat one piece at a time of your peace. For this call, the duration of this day, taking one day at a time. May your transcendent peace that passes understanding take over our bodies, our nervous systems, and all of those wiggly parts that don't know what to do with this powerful peace. Cradle us now. In your celestial compassion. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. How did those words and images and prayer feel for you before we proceed? Just wanted to check in.
I kind of feel like the deer in headlight look. It's very good. I am trying at the moment not to process all of it and just let it be for what it is. And so it's very powerful. So thank you for taking that time and doing that.
My pleasure. Anytime. All right. Well, let's transition to the exciting debrief. And I do not have a whole lot, so I think this will fit just beautifully with the flow.
That works.
So the questions that normally come from your debrief form, I don't think I got that. Did you fill one out, or I didn't get it? Or
I did. And I was wondering because they didn't have a. Oh gosh, it seemed like that form was different than all the other forms, and so that's what I'm trying to pull up. I'm not even sure if I got an email copy of it.
Okay.
I'm trying to pull that up right now.
I searched my email. I didn't find it, but it's okay. I'm just wondering, and maybe that's just an area where I need to make sure I get it from the portal.
Let's see. Intro to leader team coaching call. Yep. I think I did get it. Yep. All right, I'll forward it to you. I did get it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Hold on, I typed in the wrong Jason. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I've done that before myself.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think that one would really like that. So, okay, send. All right, you should be getting it any minute.
Thank you. And you have it available so I could read these to you?
Yep.
Okay. What is your overall reaction to facilitating this week 6? How do you feel it went overall?
Yeah, I remember this now. Sorry. I haven't really looked at it. So yeah, this was the call that God showed up for me big time that I needed. Yeah. And so yeah, I just kind of felt like all week I was kind of like they were trickling off the call all week. And so I was pretty sure that Sarah Jeannie was going to be the only one there. Mm-hmm. And not that was just, I was just kind of frustrated because it's, at the end of the last call, it sounded like there might've been possibility. But then seeing all that dwindle was kind of just, that's hard, anyway. But at the same time, I wanted to be there fully present for Sarah Jeannie as well. Because she's always been exciting for me to walk with. And so anyway, it was really, yeah. It was really, I didn't expect God to move personal for some reason. I mean, I don't know why, but I didn't see God. I didn't feel like I didn't expect God, there we go, to move that deeply in myself during the call. And so that sounds weird saying that, but anyway.
No, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Good. What was your favorite part, or where did you feel most connected?
Yeah. At the very end, Sarah Jeannie mentioned the song. Yeah. I have decided to follow Jesus. Yeah. And that song has a very special place in my heart. And so that's when I opened up and shared that. And I'm not sure if I ever shared that with anyone ever before. And so it just, that moment just gave me chills. I'm like, okay, God, like, and I thought, like, wait a second, it's supposed to be the other way around, and anyway, I think both of us, I think she was kind of a little caught off guard by that, but anyway, that meant a lot to me. So yeah.
I will never forget what you shared, and sometime I could tell you about how valuable it is for me too. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed that. Thank you. Let's see. What part seemed most important for you?
Yeah, I enjoyed hearing Sarah Jeannie's journey. Not knowing what she needed, but God moved through her for her for Luke 10. And that, the whole idea of, like, I forgot what it was. She mentioned that early on in the call, like she couldn't put her finger on, what she needed. And yet I was like, well, God kind of moved his finger and showed you what it was. It was so cool how God just like brought that out in that very moment. 'Cause I don't say stuff like that. That's smart. Anyway. So that was like kind of cool. And it's just neat because I come alive when I hear people's stories about just them feeling like just confused and just that moment of just, because I know what that feels like. And then themselves being able to see how God has moved and how God's moving even in that present moment to fulfill a desire that they didn't even know they had above and beyond. And so I just, that happens all the time on LinkedIn calls. I mean, it does. And I know it's nothing that I do. And so, well, okay, I'm not going to go there, but I know my mind's already connected to how did you help them connect? I'm not going to that, but you see what I'm saying? It's bigger than us.
Yes.
Okay. Just rest in that moment. It's bigger than us. And just that opportunity to be there when that happens is just like I can't even put words to it. Like, yeah, that's what I do. That's what I live for, are those moments. And so, yep.
Love that passion. What did you do?
I'm sorry.
What did you do? Because you were there with Trinity, that helped people enter into the experience.
Okay. So let's see. It was more of a conversation. Yeah, I like that part. It was more of a conversation that we had. I kind of went off script a couple times because I felt like she was processing a couple of things that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
It was hard for me to hear her at times, even with my little fancy little headphones that I've been using. So I was struggling, but yet I felt like if I constantly corrected her, it would have taken away from the call. So, but I pressed in a few times and even asked her if I could be with her in a specific way after a check-in. And I got to pray, which was really cool. Like, just, I don't know if you ever have that experience, like where somebody invites you to pray and you're like, I don't know what's and you just kind of, for me, it's kind of just letting myself melt into God's hands, and just, it's so freeing for me. It's like a good conversation that I get to have. And so that like really fired me up, just hearing God move and speak. And anyway, and so I don't know, I just enjoy being with her. And that's what it felt like more than anything else, is just being with her. So.
There we go. Just noting things. This is so good.
Okay.
Did you do anything that you sense may have bumped people out of the experience?
Let's see. Sorry. I think my excitement at the end maybe have been too much for her, because I was like, I caught myself and I could have misread. I really could have misread, but I felt like, okay, like, just like I need to bump it down a couple notches. It's like so hard for me. I'm like, and so that might have done something. And it was hard to understand what she was saying as far as the payment piece. And I think we connected later on that. So I think she's good as far as understanding. And I think, we connected over that. And so, that was the only two parts that I saw that was kind of like shaky.
Gotcha. And you connected off after the call, you mean?
Yeah, we connected after the call, and she explained it. What in the world? No, I did not turn you on. Sorry. yeah, we connected after the call, and she kind of explained to me that she's twofold. She wanted to know, because she was one that did a pay it forward to me, and she was kind of like, is that enough? I'm like, oh my gosh, like, told her, thank you, you're awesome. No, you good. I don't, please no. Whatever, God. And then she was kind of concerned about the payment plan, I guess. And she was calling it a payment plan for the help me out here, leader team. And I said, the way I understood it, and I said, you can always connect with your facilitator if you want to, but it's one of those that you just, you follow Jesus's lead on it. And every month, and the recommendation, I mentioned that, but it's like whatever Jesus leads you to do every month, to try to do your best to help bless the facilitator and pay it forward. And she was confused if she needed to give directly to Luke 10 or the facilitator. And so anyway, I just encouraged her as well, if she had any more questions, to actually go to whoever her facilitator would be for the leadership team itself. I don't know if I handled that correctly, but I was thinking I did. No? Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, we'll get. I can, let me finish this, and I can come back to that. Is that good?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. What, if anything, would you do differently next time?
Yeah, this one I didn't know how to answer, because it was my first really into the leader team call. I'm trying to read my answers. Yeah. Love doing this. Yeah, basically just said, I really didn't answer the question on that one. Awesome. Okay. Reading my answer, I'm like, I just avoided that whole question very well. And so I think part of it was I didn't know what I could do differently because it was only one person. But yet at the same time, I just kind of did it on the fly, because these calls are just one-on-one, and they've ended up like I got to do Judah. And for me, I guess I'm blessed because I'm hearing from a lot of other people that a lot of their calls are just one-on-one. And for me, I haven't had too many of those opportunities. So this was like, originally it started out as, oh man, it's just one person. And then it's quickly transitioned to, wow, like this is awesome. I finally get to connect with Sarah Jeannie one-on-one. Nice. And get to hear her heart and everything. And so as far as what I would do differently, I think it depends if it's more than one person. Okay. I mean, maybe that's not the right answer there, but
yeah, that's great. So, that's good. Just it's about you. It's about you reflecting on your experience and such things like that. Any other comments or questions? You had a question. What does start a partnering LT mean? And you have 2 other members that may be interested later. I'll keep you all updated.
Oh yeah, because I had that little on the radio buttons or whatever that you could click on the form. It said interested in start up partnering Luke 10 leadership team. I'm like, huh? What does that mean? I don't understand what, and so I obviously didn't check that, but I kind of feel like I need to know if that's an option. There was nowhere in the verbiage of the whole, So I was like, okay, maybe I totally missed something. So
I'm looking at it now. Excuse me. So I see it. So this is for you.
Yeah.
So continue with LT. That was for the so this is about Sarah Jeannie then.
Yeah.
Let's join, start a partnering, maybe contact. Because
could they start their own leader team? Because that's what it sounded like to me, and I'm like, okay.
I will have to follow up with you. I'm not clear on that. I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah. Start a partnering. Yeah, not sure what that means. So maybe we can get some clarity on that. So good. All right. Moving forward. Let's see. Oh yes, my turn. Can I share with you some feedback?
Okay, let's go.
All right. Ready?
Sorry, you went from your whole face. Sorry. Okay, I'm good. I just needed a minute to react to that. Continue.
Yeah. Because there's a celebration about to happen. So.
Okay.
You ready?
I think so. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right. Let's see. I have so many good things I've been curating as I've been pulling out your superpowers. I think I enumerated them last time on the last call, if I remember right, but I'll add to them this. Closing out, well, this particular, church one-on-one with you, our training session, in TOTUS, But here on this call, I really, really, really want to celebrate you.
Mm.
We've done lots of educing, lots of coaching, lots of learning for the last 6, 7 weeks, even, before that.
Yeah.
And so please know it in your bones that it's been my joy truly to have been working with you. Each call, and everything in between. Bethany Boring, you are good soil.
Mm.
Good, noble kingdom soil. Yeah, for real. And I'm grateful to have been connected with you in the kingdom for such time as this. You've been diligent, persistent. That the World War II lady that does this, whatever it was,
Yeah.
if that's right. Um,
Yep.
You've been coachable. You've been real. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for showing up and being you. Also, I enjoy your gift of prayer very much. And on this last call, when you were praying with and for Sarah Jeannie, I heard Jesus in that, and it really blessed me.
Oh.
So before I move on a little bit further, any comments, thoughts, reactions, or a thumbs up to let me know that you don't want to say anything and you're all in.
I'm receiving right now. So
Okay.
yeah, I guess that's a
Okay, so let's do this. We'll close out the debrief by saying the call was beautiful. Lots of connectivity, good conversation, natural. You were able to really enjoy the one-on-one with Sarah Jeannie, and it was amazing how you reflected that, you're going in, just one person, but you came out with a really different enrichment. And so, way to go. But so let's close out this debrief with some celebratory cake. Cake. Are you familiar with the acronym CAKE?
Oh, I was like, where's the cake? Okay. Sorry. I'm good now.
That's the cake I could deliver today. Curiosity, appreciation, kindness, eye contact. We'll just focus on I just really felt I hope you feel appreciated for
Yeah.
being with me on this journey, but some curiosity that I thought that we could do around this training experience that might help me. And I haven't done this with anybody. So I'm wondering
Wow.
you can answer a few of these questions. I could send it to you, but if anything comes to you right away,
Yeah.
let me know. And these are the few
Love to do
curious
that.
questions. Okay.
Yeah.
How could Luke 10 and your facilitator improve your training experience? Does anything come to mind?
Improve. Just one thing, and not necessarily you or anybody, but just I think some of the forms when we filled it out, just some of the verbiage threw me off sometimes. Like this last one is a good example. But like for instance, on the thing it said, do you have it wasn't even trainer, it was some other word. I'm like, not even facilitator. I'm like, I'm assuming that's Jason.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's who that is. So I just write that on there. So it's just one thing to just go back and check, because I'm sure the verbiage is continually changing to make sure it lines up with what's in the portal versus the forms that we're filling out. And what was the question again?
How could
just went to that one.
How could your training experience improve either with me or the Luke 10 portal?
Oh, gotcha. And I already mentioned the whole, you guys already talked about the whole video introduction thing, which, oh my gosh. Let's see. I don't know. I mean, really, honestly, and I appreciate everything that was on the portal. I like the way it's like laid out where we can look over the portal stuff first. At least that's the way I did it. And then I could connect with you and ask questions. And I don't know why, and I should have known this. I really should have known this, especially during the whole, intro to church 101 calls that we did and debriefing calls where you had to check in and go. I was scared to death, even that first one. And like, but each one, I felt like I was slowly able to just dip a little bit more and like being comfortable to the point where I'm now. It's like, not that I didn't look forward to it. I look forward to it, but there's more now. It's like, I think of what you did as just more created that space. And I know that's a Luke 10 thing, but I think that's something that you're really gifted in. Rather than, I think so many people can get tied down to, well, this is what I'm sure you have something on your end that you're working off of, this is the order of the call, blah, 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 blah. But you have such a sensitivity to you that I don't even know if that's the right word. Empathy is probably more the right word, where you can sense what I'm dealing with or something else, and you're willing to stop everything. And you realize what's more important is not necessarily, you want to get to the next call, you want to be able to make sure the person feels confident, but yet you saw something deeper and you were always willing, more than willing to meet that need. And that blew me away continually, every time. And so, yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. That's super. Yeah, this is very helpful for me, for Luke 10 going forward. In a word or a statement, how do you feel it went overall, your Church 101 training?
Amazing. I know you want one that. Sorry, hold on.
That's fine. Whatever you got.
Whatever. Are you typing all this? Poor guy.
I am.
I'm trying to think. Trying to put it into words. I don't want it to end.
Okay.
That's been the hardest part for me, I think, is to have it end. But at the same time, yeah. Sorry, I don't know if it's God or somebody's downloading something to me right now, but
yeah.
I think sometimes, at least for me, I started out this process kind of going, well, let's see what I can learn. And instead it turned out to be, not that I didn't do that, but instead it turned out to be you and even the members of the group drawing things out of me that were there all along. So it wasn't necessarily embracing, wow, that's deep. Okay. It wasn't necessarily embracing a lot of newness, because there was a lot of new things there, but that has really hit me more than anything else. Is talk about identity stuff. That's come alive for me. And once that comes alive, you don't want to walk away from it. And so it's kind of like, okay, God, now what? And so, yeah, it's been really neat. And the timing of it all too. This is something I can do, like physically, I'm able to do this. And so, yeah, that means a lot to me right now. So
beautiful. Thank you.
Yep.
What was your favorite part of training where you felt most connected?
Having cake with Jason, or Star Wars humor, or oh my gosh. I literally felt like I was doing this with a brother. Like I just felt so connected to you, and you follow, and I think that's been a joy too, that you, sorry, I think it's been a joy for you. Yes. I'm sorry. Seeing me back to the whole Church 101 days when I was on there, and being able to connect face to face, and that I wouldn't want anybody else to be on this journey with me, to be honest. And it's just, that's been the favorite part, really, to be honest, is to have you there. And so I think God just orchestrated all that. Because there's no way, there's no doubt in my mind, I would not be where I am today if it hadn't been for you and your connection. And more than anything, you've been like, I guess they say it, a cheerleader, but you've seen more in me than I've seen in myself. And that still blows me away, to be honest. I don't know many other people that do that in such a vocal way and in a compassionate way like you do. And so, yeah.
Feels really good to hear that. Thank you.
Welcome.
What was most?
Put me on the spot. So go ahead.
What was the most important part of your training?
Okay, I think you're gonna like this. Leaning in. He's leaning in. Okay, that I almost called it a dumb question and I stopped myself. But the one question that's on that form is, what did you do? You know it. What did you do to help others engage in the experience? And I hated that so bad. And I realized, we even had a discussion about it. Remember that? I remember one of the first calls, because I was like, I'm not going to answer that, because you're like, let's talk about that. And I don't remember exactly, honestly, what you said, but I remember thinking through that. I'm like, all right, I really need to take this question seriously and get quiet with God and see what, and if you hadn't really pushed that, I wouldn't, as you call it, the superpowers, but the way that God has wired me, and to understand what that looks like. And then I've been able to see that not just in the facilitating role here at Luke 10, but I've been able to see it in different other places in my life. And I'm like, whoa, like this isn't just Luke 10. Like, I don't know, it's like it didn't dawn on me until like we started doing it. So I'm like, oh, and because you not force, that's the wrong word. Wrong word, sorry. Because you emphasize that part, helped me really discover that. And so I deeply appreciative for that. So
That brings me great joy. Thank you. You're a good soil. What did I do as a facilitator to help you enter into the experience of the things we just talked about?
You ask permission a lot. That's, for me personally, is very non-threatening, just because of obviously walking into this. I think you knew, or you at least honored the fact. I think you mentioned it at the very, very beginning too, that, sometimes when people have debriefs, they think of different things and how Luke 10 is different. And, and you touched on that, and I didn't buy it at all. So honestly, sorry. And I trusted you a little bit back then still, and I still didn't buy it at all. But you constantly, I'm going to ask your permission, or is it okay if we, or how did you feel about that? You were very sensitive to what may be going on, and you constantly, to me, it was constantly inviting me, but you never forced me to go deeper than where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
And I have always appreciated that. And I know that's got to be hard sometimes too, because you're probably like, oh, I want to draw so much more out of that. She's not ready. I'm not sure if you encountered that or not. And so it just, I felt very respected, and at the same time, encouraged. I don't know if both of those have been present. Wow.
Yeah.
That was a deep thought. Anyway, respected and encouraged. So yeah.
Thank you. Did I do anything that may have bumped you out of your experience?
I can't think of anything. But I want to be fair to you too, and actually sit with that, because I feel like it's always good to help.
Yeah.
That kind of feedback helps. But early, I'm not thinking of anything right now, to be honest.
If anything comes up, yeah. If anything comes up, just let me know.
Okay.
Wide open to you. I'm a 4, right? So I bump myself out. So I can handle it. So,
you have the capacity, right?
yes, I do. Just a little bit more of curiosity. Do you have maybe 5 minutes more? Okay.
I have nothing else on the calendar today except at 2:00, so you're good.
All right, good. So we'll wind down with this few questions that will be a little fun, and then we'll come to a closing round. But we don't have any lesson to preview at this time. So
I know, isn't that weird?
It is, yeah. And we'll touch on maybe that. So let's see. I jotted down a few questions. Oh, so as you were listening on the call, it's my understanding that you feel that could still be your next step to be clear of pursuing Leader Team Facilitating. Just give me an update on that.
Yeah, no, it was so powerful on the call. I just can't even, wow. Yeah, I took a picture of that note that I wrote and actually saved it in my journal and did some more processing on it. And yeah, it's just, I guess I thought like facilitating leader team, this person had to look like a certain way. I made all these assumptions. And I've had this like amazing leader team and facilitator that I, am with right now. And it's just like, I just can't imagine doing anything like that. So, but on the call, the one thing that God reminded me, he's like, you didn't even think that you'd be facilitating Church 101. And here you are, and look what I've done. And I've wired you for things like this. Who said you're not wired for the next thing? And I'm like going, well, wow. And just the image of him taking me by my right hand, he's only done that a very few times in my life. And what's really cool about this, I didn't say this on the call, but after my first intro to Church 101 call, and I was like, like I told him I was gonna go forward, and I know your email was there, and I was like, I don't know if I'm actually gonna do Church 101. And like, I don't know. And I remember sitting here actually in this exact spot. That's kind of freaky. Anyway, and about to sign on for the first night of Church 101 with you. I was like, I can't do this. He's like, I can. And he grabbed me by my right hand. And that's one of the very few times he's done that. Yeah. And he's like, we got this. And I'm going. And that's the same kind of experience that I had whenever that was with Sarah Jeannie. And I was like, okay. All right. So I don't know what it's all about, but I'm in whatever it is and whatever it looks like, because it's definitely not looking like that I thought it was. So whatever it is.
Okay. Well, I love that. And I was noting that too. And even our prayer times where the Lord has really came with his hand to hold your right hand. It just seems to come up quite a bit. It's just so beautiful. Part of my debriefing, even with Tony about our last call about you and my spiritual, what's the difference between a spiritual mom and a facilitator? And so part of gleaning on that with my debrief was that you have so many tools available to you so that you won't be in it alone as you're listening to Jesus. And I'm still happy to continue training with you. And so we would hope that there would be some, maybe even some, to Luke 10:2b, the other elders on your leader team to give you the support that you need. So and you had said that you feel like, well, I'm not that, but I could facilitate, but maybe you could look at being an elder in training and learning to be a spiritual mom to those around you. And, everyone's in a stage of life where we might not be in that, that level of maturity yet, but a leader team is a real safe way for you to train into that season of life. You're not local, you're not handling the weight of a whole large community, but you meet twice a month? And so the level of maturity of that group, it means that you're not expected to parent everyone on that team, but maybe to run with or walk beside them. How does that sound to you?
And that makes that sorry, that makes sense. Sorry. And that seems more, I don't want to say doable, because that makes it sound like something I can do on my own, which I feel like it would have to do something that God would call, you know what I'm saying? It sounds realistic. There we go. That more of a practical word there.
Good. And that was a lot of Tony's feedback there that I thought was really valuable to pass on to you.
I like that.
A few more thoughts about, I did say I was going to come back to the pay it forward section of the presentation. And that's something, right, we're looking to improve each and every time we're presenting. And so how do you feel, because that was an area that we were looking at, about not presenting in a diminished way and be more maybe passionately assertive. How do you feel you presented the pay it forward segment, because you got to practice this time on the call?
I think I did good. Did I do good? I can't remember. I blanked out. I honestly, I did watch the call, not recently, but I have no feedback on how I did, to be honest. So go ahead.
I wanted to hear first your thoughts about it. I think there is an experience of watching you, observing you at certain moments of the call, high energy, engage, leaning in, full on Bethany. But when you come to that section,
Still.
it seems to me that you gloss over it. That's the really
Okay.
best way. You just gloss over it. And so watch it. No big deal. And then go to the next thing. Kind of feel
Gotcha.
where the person in their hearing, like, okay, if it's not important to her, maybe it's not, maybe it doesn't seem that important. Does that make sense?
It does. And I totally understand what you're saying too. And I don't know what to do about that. And I'm sure it's a value thing. I'm sure it ties back to value because I don't struggle with that at all. So
Right, right. Oh, you,
maybe that's something the whole Emmanuel session
yeah.
will address.
So
But
yeah, we're just
yeah,
noting and nodding that
yes,
my estimation is there can be an improvement and maybe some compassionate, kind assertiveness in that
yeah,
area. So just nodding, and we're gonna have more time, either manual or training for a leader team. And so just a
yeah,
quick nod of saying, hey, this is just that one area that
yeah.
perhaps.
No, I agree.
So just a quick nod to that. Um, and now I want to explore that for a quick moment, either here with a curious
Mhm.
question that I'm asking for help, actually. And
Okay.
it may be beyond the scope of this call, but I like how you think. I
Mhm.
like your creativity and how, and you have experience doing coaching, this, that, and all sorts of things. And so my question is, how could we, me as a trainer, as a facilitator, you as a facilitator, and even in Luke 10, be more clear in our description of paying it forward? I wonder
Mhm.
if there's an opportunity to be more clear, even in the
Mhm.
script. So you can
Yeah.
come back to me with that, look at it, and I'm just curious of how we could even improve that, because I think that's an area where it could be
Mhm.
even more crisper. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. Well, I think it's hard because I was confused too.
Mhm.
Even, and you did a great job, I thought. I think it's because we get so comfortable in our own language, especially as facilitators, we're around it so much, we get it. But we don't completely, if we try to put ourselves in somebody else's shoes that's not used to that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
also, to be honest, and from my background, and I'm still coming from my background, what I've experienced before,
Mhm.
um, it took a while to actually get to trust y'all.
Yeah, yeah.
So even in the intro call, when you said, "Oh, the place has been given to me," sweet, okay, fine, I'll see what
Right,
this really is.
right.
And when it came, sorry, that's just how it was. Anyway, and when it came to actually presenting it, I was so confused, and I'm like, wait, I get, understand, but how does that work? And if I'm paying it forward, it goes to the facilitator. So if they're what are they paying? What are they doing with it? And I didn't understand that lingo
Mhm. Yeah.
because I didn't understand, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so I think, I'm not saying change the language or anything, because I understand what it means now.
Right.
But it got confused because I remember I even paid something into the Luke 10 website thing. And then I think it was Hillary or somebody got back to me and said, we appreciate that, but this is why we like the facilitators to get paid. And, and I'm like, oh, well, that if that y'all would have said that. So that's kind of confusing too, because even in some of the directions it says you can pay Luke 10 directly and that kind of stuff. And I'm
Right.
like, well, why did I not under? So it's just one of the, but it is a gray area because I feel like you got all these things on the internet where it's ministry, so to speak, and you get into it and it's like, okay, pay so much a month for it. Oh, it's one of those deals, or oh, it's a MLM scheme or something. So I go with my radar super
Right.
high up, but I don't think I'm the only one that's like that. And
Right.
so I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm not advising necessarily, but
Yeah.
there needs to be a way to let the guard down,
Mhm.
um, have it. And I think by that time it is a safe place, but yet also better understand what it's going to, I guess, so to speak. Now I know you're investing in a facility, and as a facilitator, I know how much time it takes. Um, and so, yeah, anyway, I don't know
And
if any of that made sense.
it does. And investigating what you're saying a little bit further,
Mhm.
linking it to your previous call with Sarah Jeannie, it was clear that she did not understand
Yeah.
If it was going to Luke 10 or the facilitator. So that
Yeah.
so she had a question, you answered it, she still wasn't, and then you came back around, and then it seems that you had a follow-up. There was a follow-up with her to even get that more clear. So my question now, so just nodding to an area where there could be more clarity in our script presentation. My question to you is, if you we're leading we're facilitating a leader team, right? And someone else was doing the particular call with Sarah Jeannie. So say it wasn't you on that call, and they're sending her over to you. Can you see, how would you feel as a facilitator being prepped in that scenario over to you? And you don't facilitate now, but does that make any sense?
I think so.
So in other words, so this is what I'm trying to say. I want people to be Jesus led. That's the bottom line. At the same time, and this is just, I'm speaking for the facilitator world of which you're a part of. We're trying to make a living.
Yeah.
Right. And to keep this viable experience for people is only if people are going to pay it forward to the facilitators. Right. So we want Luke 10 to be blessed, but particularly as we're finding the language, and to the people that are, the 1 Corinthians 9 principle that are doing the service for you. And so,
and I guess I was hesitant too, because like I said, on the signatures or whatever we're supposed to put, Luke 10's on there, give directly to Luke 10 here.
Yeah.
So what do you can't go against that, because you just send it out. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of felt stuck in that too. And I'm going, I don't know what to say right now. And then I was reminded as she brought that up about the conversation. I don't remember who it was, but somebody responded to me from Luke 10 when I did that. And they said, well, this is why we want you to pay the facilitators directly, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, why didn't you just say that?
Right. So if it's communicated on that end, and so just exploring and learning myself how we can keep things viable, bless everybody, and having a mindset of abundance.
You're right.
So I'm actually bringing you alongside of my curiosity now, and I could bring that feedback even to the training circle. So thank you for letting me just pick your brain. Just being.
No, that's good. Yeah, because I think for me, there's like a tie to just being misled maybe in the past, but also when somebody puts value into you specifically, it's almost like that could be some of my issue. Anyway, it's almost like they expect more of you personally rather than the organization. And it becomes more of a, okay, I expect you to give me A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like, what are you exactly paying? You know what I'm saying? Like, what expectations are you wanting me to meet? And so I want people, when they give financially, to know what it's exactly going for. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense.
I do.
Because you put your money, and even though Jesus is leading, like you, I know as a person, like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm going to pay for it, yay! But I know what I'm going to get, so we already have that relationship.
Right.
At the end of like Church 101, you have that relationship. You feel like I don't know. I think it just comes with, you grow into that, maybe, if that makes any sense. And the more you experience, the more you learn how to trust. So
I love it all. Like, I look at the chosen and the pay it forward thing. That's, just going crazy. I love it. So as we're moving into kingdom maturity, I love having these conversations. And so thank you for I want to bring this to a close. So, but thank you. This is helpful. and I'll take that and just even continue the conversation with the some of the circles I'm in. So 2 more quick questions. And this one came to me while I was watching your video. I have this question for you. And I don't even know if it's possible at present, because I don't know how far the process went, but what are your thoughts? I know that it seems as if you have released Sarah Jeannie to be into the pipeline of going to the next leader team, because there's no next step for you and the others. what are your thoughts? I haven't like sat down and listened to Jesus on this, but what are your thoughts since you have that rapport with Sarah Jeannie? Sarah Jeannie really likes my wife. Remember that from her being on.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, again, just thinking about inviting Sarah Jeannie? What if I invited her to be part of our leader team?
That would be cool. But wait, is Victoria on our leader team?
No, no, it would be
No, okay. I was trying to figure out where that came up.
She
Okay,
would just
sorry.
be, she would have the maybe connection to Victoria to know who I am.
Gotcha.
But she
I
would be,
gotcha.
so I would be facilitating the one we started in January, and then
Yeah.
you have that. Just what do you think about that?
I did. That thought actually did cross my mind, actually.
Really?
But again, you're the only leader team I know, bro. So
No, yeah.
just keeping it real. I think our leader team's the best.
Oh,
But
it's I call it the OG leader team, as you know, or I do.
I love it.
All right.
So, but I'm sorry, I'd have to be still and pray about that too. But part of me is like, I felt that kind of like early on if this came to like this
No.
point. But at the same time, I was like, well, I can't, I'm really biased because I've only been on one leader team. So I was like, well, but everything in me wants to, I would love to know how it processes with Sarah Jeannie. And we're still remaining in contact anyway. But
Okay. All
yeah.
right. Well, let me process that, and yeah, it didn't even occur to me to this morning as I was praying and preparing for this
Wow.
call. Popped in my mind. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, could this be a possibility? There's room, and she's also good soil, and you have that
Yeah.
rapport. And I know Victoria really, it was endeared to her. So okay, so more to come on that. We'll see. And then lastly, I want to ask um, present a consideration to you, because I know that we all could pay it forward whenever we can to do all of that, but there are different ways to do that. And I'm wondering if you would partner with me. So consider this thought: partner with me in specifically in prayer.
Okay.
For Luke 10 to be partners around me that could sow into me to keep everything viable.
Yeah.
And even if you're not in
Definitely.
a spot and in your world to do that, you're good soil. But if you could be part of that prayer person, that the Lord would surround me with people that can keep me doing what I'm doing, would that be something you could do?
Very much. I felt, yeah, I kind of feel like I've already, you guys, you and Victoria, sorry. She's been on my prayer list even before I got to connect, to be honest. But y'all have been at the top ever since we did C101
All right.
together, believe it or not. And so I've been, at least the last couple months anyway, I feel like I've already been kind of doing that. You're asking to make, from what I'm hearing, let me make sure I'm hearing right. Luke 10 to be answers around you to help you pursue the vision that God is calling you to do. Both, and I would say both at Luke 10, but also other areas where God feels.
Specifically financially.
And financially, yes.
Yeah,
okay.
Specific Luke 10 to be answers, people that just would want to sow into this soil. And you're the first person I've asked. So that specific thing. So if that'd be something you'd be willing to do, that would be
honored.
An honor. So thank you.
I'd be honored to do that. Yes.
That means a lot. All right, good. Yeah, I'll share that with Victoria too. So, and definitely connect with her. She's more fun than I am. So
whatever. You too, man. I want to connect with y'all individually, but seriously, we have to do like a Zoom night where all of us are together because I just
that would be fun. So, all right. So let's let those things marinate, and we'll come to a closing round. So I'll give us just a half a minute or so. What did the Lord do that He wants to highlight, or what?
Like, what did He not do?
I know. Yeah. Right. I know. Tell me.
Sorry.
Okay. That's okay. And just come away with that one takeaway. So let's draw to silence for a moment. I'm ready when you are.
Yes,
May I go first?
yes, please.
Instantly, I closed my eyes. I saw fireworks at night. Fireworks,
I love it.
just celebrating our time through this Church 101. And then I saw like a parade going through town, and it was heavenly celestial celebration. And then I saw in space, like in like the stars, may the force be with you.
You had to be Star Wars or VeggieTale. Yes, that's awesome.
So that's kind of my takeaway. And God bless George Lucas. Okay,
There you go. All right. Wrong one. Sorry.
Sorry.
Hold on for a second. Sorry, there he is, my little guy there. Okay, anyway, put him here. So wow, I can't keep that in my head now. Jason, I can't even focus on what to focus on. Okay. All right. So at first I thought I saw like a book being closed. But instead, the book got opened back up and one chapter ended and another chapter started. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And I like that. I don't do good with endings, but this is going to be a good one because I can't wait to see what God does next. And one thing he has showed me, I don't know if it was on the last word of the previous chapter or the first word of this new chapter, but I saw the word trust. Wow. And yeah, so sorry, no Star Wars or VeggieTales. I'm disappointed, but yeah.
Trust, that's beautiful. Yeah. Well, thank you for your time. We went extra long, but we got a lot accomplished, and I'm grateful.
We did.
Thank you. All right, so, well, I'm going to dive into the rest of my day, and we'll connect on what time next Friday. Yeah, we'll connect on Discord or something.
Look forward to it, and thank you, Jason. Seriously, I think you already know that, but thank you for not giving up on me and continuing to pull out what I believe God has been showing you, what's been going on in me in such a way. So it's just, Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, may the peace of the Lord be with you.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Jason.
Okay. Have a good weekend. Bye.
All right. Bye.